Today is 24 November 2014. This is Paul Isaac 9/11 Justice, and I am interviewing a 9/11 witness survivor who has some pretty interesting recollections from that day, and was a witness to the South Tower collapse. The gentleman's name is Mr. Michael KASLOVSKI. Mr. KASLOVSKI, good evening, sir. Thank you.
Good evening.
And where were you on 9/11? And what do you remember, sir?
I was on the top floor of 100 Gold Street, and I was there on business. And the South Tower and the North Tower were all aflame and burning. There was a helicopter hovering over one of the towers. Apparently the helicopter was not coming anywhere near, but all of a sudden the South Tower started to collapse.
Do you recall what the helicopter may have looked like, sir? Whether it was an official-looking helicopter or?
It was a tiny, small thing. I assumed that it was a police helicopter. Seeing what chances it had to get the land, maybe save some people from
Yes,
the top
sir.
of the building. And all of a sudden, the South Tower commenced to collapse. But the most amazing thing about it was that it started to collapse at the very bottom, like as close to the ground as possible. It might have been 10 or 20 stories above the ground that the breakage occurred.
Now, do you recollect, did you see an explosive event, or was it a collapsing event? What do you recall occurring there, sir?
If you ask me if I saw explosion at the bottom, I don't remember any. I didn't think there could be an explosion.
Did you see any fireballs or anything to that effect?
No, the building just started to collapse, and it started from the bottom.
Can you describe what it was that you saw at the lower level, sir?
It just broke away at the lower level.
You mean it fell off of its foundation? Is that
Yes,
what you're saying?
yes.
It snapped away from its foundation?
Right, and the remaining building was intact, and this entire structure started to veer off to the left, I believe.
Well, towards
And it started-
Austin Tobin Plaza? Is that correct?
I don't remember the names.
All right, the
To
Central
my
Plaza.
left, it started to veer off to my left,
Okay.
and then it eventually all collapsed, one on top of the other.
So what you're saying was that the building went off center, snapped off its position, and veered left to your left, meaning that the South Tower went towards the Central Plaza area and proceeded to collapse straight down afterwards.
Right.
So it initially snapped off its foundation at a lower level, approximately 20
Right,
floors
right.
from ground level, and then literally moved the whole
Yes,
building?
Yes. It kind of veered off to the left. The most amazing thing about it was that the structure was intact above the breakage point. There was some displacement of debris on
Yes.
top,
Yes, sir.
but the entire building below the fire was intact, and it started just move towards the left at its breakage point, someplace close to the street.
Now you didn't
And
witness
finally
the
collapsed.
North Tower collapse. You witnessed
No.
the South Tower
No.
collapse. The
Only-
South Tower
only the-
collapse.
only the South Tower.
If we're facing from east to west, the South Tower began collapsing, moved off its footprint. How far would you consider it moved? The building is approximately 208 feet across, point to point. Would you say it moved the total length of a building?
No, it was about 1/5 1/5 of the building.
So 1/5 of the building moved towards your left, which would make it going towards the North Tower. Because the South Tower, if we're looking from east to west, would be on the left. The North Tower would be on the right. We have the South Tower going this way to your left.
I call it South Tower because it was closer to the Battery Park.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
the first
it
tower.
was not moving towards the North Tower. It was moving towards Battery Park.
So you're saying it moved to your right?
Well, no, we are sitting. No, it moved with it. Okay.
Okay, we're looking.
The reason I'm saying
we're looking
that it
from the
moved to
Brooklyn Bridge.
Hold it. The reason I'm saying it moved to my left is because I remember myself as being positioned with my right hand going towards the north, and my left hand going towards the south.
Okay, because you know Gold Street runs parallel to Broadway. Is
Right.
that correct?
Right.
So if you're on Gold
So
Street
this
you're
is-
viewing this.
This is my orientation.
Yes, sir.
It moved towards Battery Park, and then it just collapsed in a very orderly fashion.
Okay, Battery Park. I'm thinking Battery Park.
But
Battery.
the only
Battery.
thing that is
You're talking about the community, the buildings that are there that Rockefeller put up, Battery Park City, right, where the development is. Is that what you're saying?
no, towards Battery Park,
Towards the ferry.
towards the ferry.
So you're saying the whole building moved towards the south
Yes, yes.
from the 20th floor.
About the 20th floor.
So the building went like this, or
Yeah.
did it tilt?
No, it tilted at the bottom. In other words,
Did it go like this? Did it
top,
did it tilt
the top
like?
was tending towards the north. It was on the vertical incline with the top tending towards the north.
And where was the bottom? Was the bottom tilted, or was it
The
straight
bottom
off?
was by sheer mass of it. You know, when you drop things in the air, they do tend to tilt.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so apparently the building did the same thing. It didn't have the support anymore, and it tilted towards
But
the.
In order for it to have snapped off its kilter, in order for it to have snapped off from the 20th floor, something would have had to either caused it to release at that point, to compromise at that lower level. Did it happen at the same time that the top of the building tilted?
When this entire mass of a building was loose from its mooring, it started to just maneuver as the gravity had it. And maybe the top of the building was heavier than the bottom, but it looks like the top of the building was just wanting to fall as soon as possible, and the building tilted with its top towards the north, and the bottom that broke away from its mooring towards the south. But it was a very minimal building because the entire mass was on its downward course,
Curtain collapse.
and the entire thing started to